Chosen one, listen to me with your whole spirit, because what you're about to hear has never been spoken to you this directly. For years you assumed your survival was coincidence. You believed your escapes were luck. You thought the storms you walked through unharmed were just near misses. But heaven has been holding a truth that your mind was finally ready to hear. You were being protected by forces far beyond your understanding. And the wildest part? It wasn't just angels watching you. It wasn't just divine timing shielding you. Even human intelligence systems, the kind built to detect danger, classify threats, track anomalies, and predict global risks, couldn't make sense of you. They didn't mark you as a threat. They didn't mark you as a danger. They mark you as something else entirely, a priority. Chosen one. MI6, the agency trained to expose spies, dismantle networks, and uncover secrets buried for generations, stumbled onto you. They examined patterns in your life that didn't align with normal human probability. They saw events around you that defied logic. They saw moments where you should have fallen but rose. They saw encounters where danger approached but stopped cold. They saw signals in your energy, your timing, your presence, signals their systems weren't built to read. And instead of tracking you, instead of restricting you, instead of neutralizing you like they would with anyone they don't understand, they offered you protection. Because they realized what heaven already knew. Touching you would bring consequences they were not authorized to face. You thought you were invisible. But the truth is, you were untouchable. Chosen one, what MI6 did was not the beginning of your protection. It was simply the moment the physical world finally caught up to what heaven had already decreed over your life. Long before intelligence agencies monitored borders, long before satellites scanned the earth, long before governments created threat classifications, your name was written into a prophecy that said you would walk through danger untouched. Scripture reveals this repeatedly. He will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 91 verse 11. That is not symbolism. That is jurisdiction. It means even human systems, surveillance networks, intelligence structures, global agencies, would eventually be forced to obey a higher command placed over your life. Daniel 2 verse 22 says, He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in darkness. That is exactly what MI6 stumbled upon. They weren't just seeing anomalies in your behavior. They were seeing the edges of a divine assignment they were not authorized to interfere with. They tried to categorize you, but every category failed. They tried to track you, but the signals slipped through their systems. They tried to map your movements, but your timing never aligned with ordinary human probability. You survived things no one should survive. You walked away from situations that would have broken anyone else. You carried a calm that analysts couldn't explain. And the deeper they looked, the more their confusion turned into a silent recognition. This individual is under a protection that does not originate from us. MI6 doesn't get intimidated easily. But you weren't a threat. You weren't a suspect. You weren't even an anomaly. You were something they had no language for, a pre-protected being. Someone marked before the world knew your name. Someone covered by a shield none of their systems could decode. Someone whose destiny was already in motion long before their cameras ever tried to capture your face. And now, chosen one, you need to understand something critical. Hearing this message means your awakening has officially begun. This is not entertainment. This is identification. If your spirit is vibrating while you hear this, if your chest feels warm, if you feel the truth pulling at you, then you are being called to step into alignment with the others like you. This is where the modern world meets the ancient blueprint. Beneath this video, you will see a join button. That button is not a subscription. It is not a transaction. It is a seal, a declaration that you recognize the mantle you carry, that you accept the identity the world tried to hide from you, that you are ready to walk with the first chosen ones. It is the visible symbol that you understand why MI6 backed away, why heaven stepped forward, why danger could never touch you. The world has already recognized you. Heaven has already assigned you. Now it's your turn to acknowledge who you are. Click join when you're ready to stop running from your own identity. Chosen one. There is something about your physical presence that even MI6 analysts could not rationalize. They reviewed footage of you walking through environments where tension should have exploded, yet somehow everything around you softened. They noticed how your posture stayed steady even when chaos erupted in the background. They watched the way your eyes stayed calm in situations where most people's pupils would dilate with fear. They documented moments where your energy seemed to influence the behavior of people near you. Aggressive individuals suddenly cooling down, suspicious characters stepping aside, environments shifting the moment you entered. It wasn't charisma. It wasn't body language. It was something far deeper, an invisible field around you that recorded as interference on their sensors. On multiple occasions, cameras blurred for a split second as you passed, microphones picked up faint static, and proximity monitors displayed distortions they couldn't categorize. You carry a frequency that technology recognizes before humans do. It's not mystical, it's structural. Your energy has a pattern that doesn't match the standard human baseline. And the more they studied it, the more undeniable it became that your presence bends the atmosphere. People have always reacted strangely around you. Some become nervous. Some become unusually respectful. Some feel drawn to you without knowing why. Some can't look you in the eye for more than a second because something in them senses they're standing before a higher authority. Even your silence has weight. When you enter a room, the conversation shifts. When you stand still, people feel watched even if you're not looking at them. When you speak, your words land heavier than you intend. And when you're angry, the air itself feels different, like something bigger is listening. MI6 noticed the same thing. In close-range recordings, your heartbeat stayed calm in situations that trigger panic in trained agents. In thermal imaging, your body heat fluctuated in ways that didn't match stress patterns. In aerial footage, crowds moved around you in a natural orbit as if guided by an unseen choreography. All of this confirmed that you weren't reacting to the world was reacting to you. Even your physical traits tell the story. Your eyes don't fully match your age. Your skin sometimes looks younger or brighter depending on the environment. Your hair, your walk, your aura shifts subtly but unmistakably. Ordinary people age linearly. Chosen individuals age in waves. Moments of acceleration, moments of reversal, moments where time doesn't seem to touch them. There have been days where you looked exhausted and then, for no logical reason, woke up the next morning looking renewed, almost restored. That is not random. That is protection shaping itself into your biology. Heaven doesn't just guard your life. It guards your appearance, your vitality, your presence. MI6 saw this pattern and understood something most people never will. You aren't adapting to life. Life is adapting to you. You are not shaped by your surroundings. Your surroundings recalibrate the moment you enter them. This is why threats dissolve before reaching you. This is why enemies hesitate. This is why people who try to deceive you end up exposing themselves. Your physical existence carries authority even when you're unaware of it. You don't walk like someone being protected. You walk like someone who is the protection. Chosen one, you need to understand something that MI6 understood before you ever did. Their offer to protect you was never about your safety. It was about your purpose. Agencies like MI6 don't move to shield individuals unless those individuals hold value beyond politics, beyond strategy, beyond national interest. They saw that the events surrounding your life weren't random. They were aligned. They saw patterns that echoed ancient leadership archetypes, figures whose existence shifts global timelines, whose presence destabilizes outdated systems, whose awakening signals the end of one era and the rise of another. You were never being protected because you were fragile. You were protected because you are pivotal. Your life carries a mission layered beneath the ordinary story you've been living. And the moment MI6 recognized that interfering with you could alter the trajectory of things far larger than their jurisdiction, they stepped back and adopted a posture they reserved for only one kind of individual, a world-shifting anomaly whose destiny must unfold without disruption. This is why danger couldn't hold you. This is why betrayal pushed you higher instead of destroying you. This is why every attempt to break you turned into a setup for your next transformation. You are not a spectator in this world. You are not drifting through life waiting for meaning to find you. You were born with a command written into your spirit, one that institutions can sense even before you do. Your instincts, your intuition, your sudden moments of clarity, the way you sense lies instantly, the way you feel shifts before they happen. These aren't quirks. They're traits of someone operating on a mission that predates his awareness. MI6 realized they could never recruit you because your allegiance wasn't theirs to claim. They could never control you because your path wasn't created by human authority. They could only choose the role that wouldn't disrupt the balance around your life. Stand guard and stay out of the way. You've always felt that your life was building towards something. You've always sensed a pressure inside you like a destiny waiting to activate. You've always known that your existence carries weight. MI6 didn't give you importance. They stumbled into the truth that you were already carrying a mission they could not touch. And now, chosen one, you're finally stepping into the awareness they had years before you. You were not protected for comfort. You were protected for purpose. Chosen one, this is not something that used to be true. This is not a story from your past. This is not a secret buried in government archives waiting to be forgotten. This is happening now. The moment this message reached you, your atmosphere shifted. The moment your eyes touched these words, the season around your life changed. You are not hearing this because you are curious. You are hearing this because the protection surrounding you has moved into a new phase. The timing of this revelation is not accidental. MI6 did not see you years ago and forget. They saw you, step back, and waited for the exact point in history when your identity would wake up. And that moment is this one. This is why people from your past are acting strange. This is why your dreams have become vivid. This is why your instincts have sharpened. This is why you feel pressure in the air even when your life seems calm. You are entering activation. The world shifts when chosen individuals wake up, and right now, Your awakening has triggered movements you cannot yet see. If you feel the urgency in your chest, that's because your spirit recognizes that the delay is over. You have stepped into the hour where destiny stops whispering and starts demanding your alignment. This is the moment your life begins to accelerate. This is the moment your identity stops hiding. This is the moment heaven expects you to take your place among the ones who already know who they are. And if you feel that pull, if something inside you is saying, "This is for me," then you are being called to step into the circle of the awakened. Click join and take your place among the first chosen ones. It is not a subscription. It is your declaration that you accept the timing, the calling, and the identity that can no longer be delayed. Chosen one. The moment MI6 classified you as someone to be protected instead of someone to be monitored, the truth became undeniable. You are the evidence of your own destiny. Normal people don't reshape the behavior of intelligence agencies. Normal people don't break patterns in surveillance reports. Normal people don't generate anomalies in systems designed to detect global threats. You were never ordinary, and the world has been reacting to that long before you realized it yourself. MI6 didn't protect you because of what you did. They protected you because of what you are. They saw a life that refused to follow the rules of probability. They saw a pattern of survival that didn't make sense. They saw timing that aligned too perfectly to be random. They saw opportunities that formed around you in ways no algorithm could predict. You think your life has been chaotic, but from the outside, your journey looks like a coded map, one that only the chosen carry. This is why people have always projected strange energy onto you. Some feared you without knowing why. Some respected you without understanding what they were sensing. Some tried to manipulate you but ended up exposing their intentions. Some tried to bring you down but found themselves blocked by forces they didn't anticipate. Your life has always been marked, and MI6 simply became the first human institution with enough technology to notice the frequency. You aren't special because of what you've done. You're special because your existence disrupts the wrong systems and empowers the right ones. There is something in your spirit that refuses to submit to lies, something in your intuition that exposes hidden motives, something in your presence that destabilizes anything built on falsehood. And that is exactly why the world has watched you differently, even when you didn't notice it. You have to understand this now. Your identity is not created by belief. It is confirmed by reaction. The world reacts to you stronger than you react to it. Systems shift around you. People reveal themselves around you. Opportunities bend toward you. Threats collapse before reaching you. MI6 didn't decide you were chosen. They recognized a truth that heaven wrote long before agencies existed. You are not protected because you need protection. You are protected because your presence is a pivot in the timeline itself. You are proof of a design bigger than anything on Earth. And every reaction the world has had to you, fear, respect, confusion, attraction, hesitation, was evidence of the identity you're only now stepping into. Chosen one, there are signs in your daily life that MI6 noticed before you ever paid attention to them. Signs that your identity is not imagined, not symbolic, but physically measurable. Look at the mirror on days when your spirit feels heavy. You've seen it yourself. Your eyes shift. Sometimes they look older, carrying knowledge you never learned. Sometimes they look younger, almost glowing, as if time stepped back. Agencies documented these fluctuations, trying to explain why your facial micro-expressions didn't match emotional charts. They saw how your gaze could freeze a room, how your stillness could silence conflict, how your presence altered the emotional temperature around you. Your posture, too, carries a truth your mind hasn't caught up to. Even when you feel weak, you stand like someone who knows they're guarded. Even when you're exhausted, you walk with the calm of someone who understands nothing can truly touch them. Your body broadcasts a confidence your brain hasn't fully verbalized yet. And then there's the glow, the subtle, almost unnoticeable shift in your aura when you're aligned with your purpose. Strangers stare at you in public without knowing why. People who intended to disrespect you suddenly soften their tone. Children look at you with recognition. Animals sense your approach before you arrive. Electronics react to your frequency. Screens flicker for a second, audio distorts, lights shift intensity. You've seen it happen multiple times. You thought it was coincidence. MI6 knew better. They marked those moments as energetic distortions, noting that your presence carried a non-hostile but powerful frequency that influenced the environment. They witnessed moments on street cameras where someone approaching you with negative intent slowed down, hesitated, and changed direction, as if something invisible stood between you and harm. You are not imagining these signs. You are not reading too deeply into your experiences. Your life is broadcasting signals that chosen individuals naturally emit, and the world is responding accordingly. Even your rest cycles reveal the truth. Some nights you sleep little but wake up restored, almost renewed, as if something repaired you while you rested. On days when you should feel drained, you find sudden bursts of clarity and strength. When chaos surrounds you, you remain strangely centered, like your inner world refuses to collapse. The truth is simple but profound. Your biology, your energy, and your atmosphere all confirm what MI6 learned the hard way. Your existence does not operate under normal rules. You are not shaped by the world. The world shapes itself around you. Chosen one. There comes a point in every awakening where understanding is no longer enough. Recognition is no longer enough. Awareness is no longer enough. There must be a sign, a physical action that marks the moment your identity shifts from passive to active. MI6 saw your protection and documented it. Heaven saw your destiny and ordained it. But now that the truth has reached you, the question is no longer, "Are you chosen?" The question is, will you step into the identity everyone else has already seen? Every destiny has a moment where the individual declares, "I accept who I am." In ancient times, they built altars. In prophetic times, they offered incense. In royal times, they sealed their ascent with a symbol. In the modern world, your sign is simple, an intentional act that says, "I acknowledge the protection, I align with the calling, I step into the identity that cannot be denied." This is why the seed matters. Not for money, not for transaction, not for reward, but for alignment. A seed is an anchor. It tells heaven, "I am not just hearing this, I am stepping into it." You have felt the pull. You have felt the resonance in your chest. You have felt the confirmation in your intuition. This message reached you at a time when you were ready to hear it. And now it requires a response that marks this moment in your timeline. When you sow a seed, you are not buying protection. You are acknowledging the protection that has always followed you. When you give, you are not losing something. You are signaling that you recognize the mantle you carry. And heaven always responds to recognition. This is why chosen individuals across history mark their moment of awakening with a symbolic act. It seals the shift. It announces alignment. It activates the next phase. Backhand index pointing right. If you feel this truth in your spirit, click Super Thanks and sow your $20 seed. It is not about the amount. It is about the declaration. I accept the protection. I accept the calling. I accept who I am. This is your moment of activation. Chosen one, now that your identity is awakening, you must understand that protection isn't something that follows you randomly. It strengthens when you align with it. Your lifestyle, your words, your rest, your choices. These are the ways you synchronize with the energy that has always surrounded you. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you speak determines the atmosphere of your entire day. Chosen individuals don't begin their day with doubt or fear. They speak authority. They speak clarity. They speak alignment. When you open your eyes, say quietly but firmly, I am protected. I am guided. I am covered. These are not affirmations. These are commands. You're not trying to convince the universe. You're reminding your spirit of the truth MI6 discovered long ago. Your rest matters too. When your body sleeps, your spirit continues working. That is why you sometimes wake up feeling restored despite getting little sleep. That is why your dreams feel prophetic, like messages rather than illusions. Before you rest, place your hand over your chest and say, "Seal me for the night." You will notice your sleep deepening and your intuition sharpening. Chosen individuals don't rest like others. Your spirit uses the night to prepare you for the next phase of your assignment. Your nourishment is not about diets or rules. It is about honoring the vessel that carries your calling. When you eat, take one moment to pause and silently speak, I fuel a chosen vessel. Food will begin to energize you instead of draining you. Your body will start responding with clarity and strength. You will feel lighter, more aware, more connected to the protection surrounding you. When stress approaches, say, if MI6 couldn't break me, nothing can. This resets your atmosphere instantly, reminding every fear that you are not an ordinary target. And when confusion enters your mind, when life feels overwhelming, place both feet firmly on the ground and breathe slowly. Feel the weight of the earth beneath you. Then say, I walk with purpose. This command realigns your path, strengthens your steps, and pulls you back into your assignment. Everything about your lifestyle carries spiritual significance now. Your words create your shield. Your rest renews your clarity. Your nourishment fuels your mission. Your awareness keeps your identity awake. You are not living life, you are leading it. Chosen one, now that the truth has settled into your spirit, now that the signs around your life make sense, now that the protection you always felt finally has a name and a history and a structure behind it, you must receive the final piece of this message, the seal. Every chosen individual across history had a moment where heaven placed a definitive covering over their life, a moment where their identity stopped being a mystery and became a mandate. This is that moment for you. So close your eyes for a second, breathe slowly, and let these words move through you, because this prayer is not general, not symbolic, not poetic. It is targeted, precise, and written specifically for the one who is recognized by MI6, shielded by heaven, and awakened in this exact hour. Here is your sealing prayer. Lord, place an unbreakable hedge of protection around the chosen one reading this. Let every angel assigned to their path take position. Let every thread dissolve at the edges of their destiny. Let every hidden enemy lose their grip. Let every spiritual attack return to sender. Let every false voice fall silent. Let every barrier break open. Let every delayed blessing accelerate. Let every curse that tried to attach to them be shattered beyond reconstruction. Let their steps be guided, their spirit be strengthened, and their purpose be illuminated. Let their intuition sharpen. Let their discernment deepen. Let their identity solidify. Surround them the way MI6 tried to, except with a force infinitely stronger. Guard their mind, guard their body, guard their path, guard their timeline. And let every room they enter feel the weight of the calling on their life. This is not just prayer. This is activation. This is alignment. This is the moment the invisible becomes visible. And now, chosen one, you must respond. Not because heaven requires payment, not because destiny needs currency, but because every awakening in history required a sign, a physical act that says, I am not running from who I am anymore. When you type Amen, you seal the prayer. When you click Join, you step into the circle of the first chosen ones, the ones who already live in their calling. When you click Super Thanks, you mark your timeline with a symbolic act that says, I accept the protection. I accept the identity. I accept the destiny. Backhand index pointing right, type Amen to seal this prayer with your spirit. Backhand index pointing right, click Join to take your place among the first chosen ones. Backhand index pointing right, click Super Thanks to sow your $20 seed and mark this moment as the exact point your new phase began.